So you're an athlete. It doesn't really matter if you're a pro who's trying to become a world champion, or you're someone who considers themselves an athlete and they enter into races, maybe races even that you just create on your own mind. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that you look at yourself and you realize that you're actually all athletes. To develop a regimen that will lead to the most capability is really the goal of any athlete. And I think everyone's goal, that's what it should be. Now, what can you do as an athlete to maximize your capabilities? Oftentimes when people come to me, they expect some sort of sports-specific regimen right off the top. In my experience of the past 25 years, whenever I dealt with even people from heavy weightlifting sports like powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, bodybuilding, even people like that had such a huge holes when it comes to stability and strength that limited their system to really achieve their highest potential. When it comes to athletes like soccer players, basketball players, right? There are many different characteristics of their physical body that evolved and developed and throughout their lifetime for that very specific sport, and they're very good at it. Now, oftentimes, your limits are not defined by what you're good at, but your weak links in your system. The only way to find the weak links, if we want to make sure that we have a very, very strong and wide base, that's what we need to provide first. Once we have that, we need to create a very capable general athlete. General athleticism is the key to not to get injured, not to have constantly distracting problems that we have to deal with throughout our career as an athlete. 85% of people who run regularly have running-related injuries. Why is that? It's not because they don't like running or they don't put the effort into it. It is because they have certain parts of their being which is not able to work efficiently, and that leads to irritation and eventually to injury. So being an athlete is in any given sport is important, of course, and that will be the last stage what one needs to focus on. But if you're not a very athletic human being and you don't have a foundation in athleticism, you're limiting yourself, your own capabilities in your chosen sport. If you really look into people who are extraordinary at what they do, Carl Lewis, for example, won several Olympic gold medals on track and field. Many people don't know that at the same time he was drafted to be a player for basketball in the Chicago Bulls. At the same time, he was also drafted to the Texas Rangers as a football player. So, and if you look at any sports, people who define the way how a sporting event is being played, oftentimes they have this amazing base in athleticism. They're capable of doing many, many different things very, very well. And that actually what saves them from frequently getting injured. Because frequent injury is what will limit your capability as an athlete. When you're not able to keep going through your regimen that leads to great performance, but you need to stop and take time away to recover from an injury, for example. Now, once you put the layers of the base as a human being, and you put another layer on it as great athletic capability layer, then that's the time when you can focus on your sport. Now, interestingly enough, by the time we get to that stage with our clients, they already benefited so much from our work together that they believe that that's what the training is. That's the conditioning, and that's what we do for people, meaning putting the base down, putting athletic capabilities down, and they're surprised when I tell them, now we're going to start focusing on your sport. And that's when it becomes really exciting, because people realize, oh my God, I'm already doing this well, and I haven't even really focused on my specific sport. Now, that's a very exciting conversation, and I'm very intrigued to have the chance perhaps to continue this conversation with you in person. Reach out to us at info@modernagewarriors.com or send us a text to the phone number we provide on our contact page. And I look forward to chatting with you about maximizing your capability in your chosen field.